Hello, ma'am.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Well, I want to welcome everyone to another episode of Shaking Up the Algorithms with my beautiful co-host.
Oh, so me.
Well, we can't do the bloopers, so we just go wing it. I am David Crouch, and this is the beautiful co-host Tomise, and we're going to have an amazing show today with Shaking Up the Algorithms, and we have a amazing couple that has amazing energy. I love their energy already. I only talked to them for a brief second before we start, and I love their energy already, so I already know it's going to be a real good one. And who are we talking to today, ma'am?
Well, we are talking to the one and only Rolando Lando and Angel Phillips. I love his name. Like it just got a little ring to it. I just love that. You know what I'm saying? But just to kind of give y'all a backstory, I met
Okay.
I met Lando at a speaking engagement that I had with one of our former guests, Robin Young,
Hmm.
at the Pass the Baton event in Jacksonville, Florida. When
Hmm.
I tell you, this man blew me away. Just the mere conversation, he was just mannerable, and I mean the way he catered to everybody there, like I was floored, and myself and two other speakers, we had an opportunity to kind of talk with him like one on one in the back. Man, I learned so much about this dude. I was like, I gotta have him on the show. Like the more he talked about his wife, I was like, man, what dude constantly talks about their woman
So,
like
so,
that? Like I
so,
got to have him.
So real quick before they come on,
Mhm.
how did y'all even have the conversation? What started it? What triggered the conversation?
What started it was the drinks. Okay, that's what it was. It was the drink. Homeboy threw down on them.
To all our to all of our supporters out there, we do not condone alcoholism. We don't.
Look, y'all, every little once in a while, everybody need a little liquid courage, okay? And I used it that night, okay? I utilized it, and
Oh,
trust me, I
oh,
had
you played your liquor card. You played your liquor card.
I did. Every
Okay.
once in a while, I got to pull it out, just every
Okay.
once in a while, not all the
Well,
time.
alcohol kills brain cells. You're getting old. You can't afford to kill a lot of brain cells. I can't either. That's why I just say no.
I'm not gonna comment on that. I still feel like I'm quick with it, even though I'm getting older, sir. Okay,
Okay.
don't let the alky card fool you. Okay.
Duly noted. Duly noted. Okay. Who is this amazing couple you ready to bring on?
Yes, I'm about to bring them up now. Let's bring up Lando and Angel. Welcome, y'all.
Hi.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hello again. I can't wait to get this
Yes,
stuff started.
yes. Oh my gosh. Like I said, I just love y'all already. I just love y'all.
Thank you.
I love what you stand for. I love what you represent. Like I said, it is not many young people your age that value marriage and value the partnership that you all have.
Correct.
And I feel like that deserves to be commended. That deserves to be honored. You know what I mean? You got a lot of older people like myself that wish they had that type of cohesiveness with their partner. You know what I mean? So if I can help anybody by using you two as an example, then I've done my job. Hell, I might have learned something because I need
Right.
tips. Okay, I need some tips.
Oh Lord, my dreams. They popping
Look,
out.
your hair's fine, girl. You're cute. You're cute. Don't worry. You're cute. But okay, Crouch. Well, what you got to say?
No, I was gonna say like how we gonna start it off? What we gonna get into? Because I got a lot of me. I always have a
I
gazillion questions.
know. Go ahead. Go with
I
your.
like people with a lot of questions. Go ahead.
Oh, look at that.
Okay. Me and you had this conversation, Shawan, about I say the best people, my grandfather used to always tell me the best people to find is people from small towns. Because small town people have those good values, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The values that last for a lifetime. And you're right. They don't have a lot of couples, especially young couples, that value what marriage is.
Right.
So my first question to them at such a young tender age that they are, what is the what has allowed you to value marriage the way you do?
You want me to go first?
I guess so. Yeah.
I'll say basically, I feel like it's our foundation. Before anything, and like I tell people a lot of times, like we're friends. Like we genuinely like each other, like as friends. Like we like hanging out with each other. Like we like a lot of the same things, and even the things that we may not be fond of. Like he may like sports more than me, and I may like entertainment and music and stuff more than him. We like each other so much. It's like, okay, I can give this a chance. So I feel like the friendship was definitely a basis for our relationship because we have a good friendship. Like even on the tough days where it's like you get on my nerves, the thing that sticks it out is my friend. So we might have our little toils and tussles, and then we're gonna come back 30 minutes later. You want to go get something to eat? So I'd say our friendship was definitely the basis for our relationship and our marriage.
Okay, I'm kind of curious. How did y'all meet? Kind of curious.
There must be a mad story behind this one.
It is definitely a great story.
See, the Lord gave me that question. The Lord gave me that. The Lord, He did.
I'm gonna tell when I get rich and famous. Y'all want
You'll get your blood raw. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell this because she's been doing
Okay.
it.
All right.
But before I even tell you that, I think the basis to you were saying like the basis, Mr. David, of why we gel so well. We both grew up in I'll say church background and homes. The foundation of a family definitely starts in the church. She had a great stepfather, and my dad was pretty good on teaching core values. So that's one thing I would say. Our parents were definitely good on core values. Her mom was big on it. My mom was big on it. Just old school living to a certain extent. Coming up, I grew up in a small church where everybody in the church.
Right.
You turn to the left, turn to the right, you can see the whole church. So that was a big thing for me. My wife's family's church, it wasn't that small in Mobile, but it was still small because
I'm from Alabama, so I'm from the Bible Belt, so we already know how that goes.
Right.
It's very
so that's I think the first base of it, and then but how we met is just so crazy because I knew her brother for years, and I never knew he had a sister.
Wow.
This is a true story.
My brother's younger than me, so
Right.
I was off the college. Like he used to coach my brother.
Okay.
So I was off the college.
So I used to work at the YMCA when I was young, and I coached the team. So her brother played on my team at the YMCA. So all those years she was in college, like she'd be gone, things of that nature. And unfortunately, her brother got himself in a little trouble. And so one of our friends,
he had to go to court.
Her brother had to go to court. One of my friends told me, say, hey man, little Lonnie, we had to go to court, blah, this, and that. So I'm like, well, I show up to court, sitting across from the bench. She's sitting over there. That's my first time ever seeing my wife. I promise you, like that was my first time.
We met in the courthouse. My
brother had got incarcerated
under the wrong circumstances.
But the crazy part about it is, honestly, was he walked in. I can still see this playing in my head to this day. I was sitting on the bench with my best friend. And I'm sitting on the bench telling her, like, the last little whoop-de-doo I was talking to, I was like, it's not working out. I was like, I'm just done dating. I was like, men are just trash. I'm 21, but I was like, they're trash. I was telling her all my man problems in the courthouse, and then I see him walking down the courthouse thing with a Jaguar jacket and the hot top fade. And I was like, oh, he's kind of cute. But I was like, I'm off of these dudes. I'm off of them. And I didn't realize he was there for my brother until we got into the courtroom. He was sitting behind us. And I was like, oh, okay. And then afterwards, he came talking to my mom, like, oh, yeah, I coached him at the Y. And I was kind of plotting on him then when he was talking to my mom. I was like, I'm calling him.
Oh, you was plotting. Okay.
We plotted on each other.
No, she plotted on me. Y'all heard she plotted on me.
I heard that. I heard
Thank
that.
you, baby.
I heard that.
You, baby.
I'm paying attention. Go ahead.
Oh, my God.
That's literally how we met. So.
Oh, okay. So,
county courthouse.
At what point did you know after meeting that, hey, that's her? I want the world to hear this. Like, At what point did God show you in each other that that's the person I'm supposed to build with?
So you want the blood honest truth?
Yes, sir. All of that. Yes, sir.
When I got a name tattooed on my wrist, that's when I knew.
That'll do it.
That'll do it.
That'll do it.
I think we have been doing like
4. No, we had only been together like 2 months, but we
2 or
had
3
known each other
months.
like 4 months.
2 or 3 months. So you knew that right off rip.
Yeah.
Right.
I was locked in.
Right.
Telling the truth.
Okay, but what I want to know is, what I want to know you, like what qualities did she embody? What was the thing that said, I can trust her, I can be me with her, I can build with her, I can have a future with her? What was it about her that said that's it?
So we live in an age of social media, which we all know, and we grew up like we literally grew up together, came from nothing together. So that makes sense to you, like staying at her parents' house, or like, you know what I'm saying, like I'm working 2 jobs, I want to get along with my parents, I moved out, type of thing. Like we grew up together, like from nothing to where we are now. Like, buying my first car on my own, she was like there with me when I got my first car on my own, watching her buy her own first car, you know, things of that nature. Like going from the little garbage jobs at like Ross and things of that nature to getting real jobs and like being able to pay bills, and then like moving in together to apartment, to a house, to buying a house, to like just having 1 car, to having 2 cars, to having multiple cars. Like we've kind of grown up together. So that's the great part about it.
So basically, anybody that can deal with you when you have nothing, that's what you know. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. He ain't got nothing, she ain't got nothing, but I still love her.
Yes.
And we're gonna make this work and make something out of nothing.
Right.
We're gonna make something out of nothing.
That's
Got
right.
it. Duly noted. Okay. Now, what about you with your husband? How did you know that that's the man? That's him. That's it. That's my boo. That's everything. That's it. That's that man right there.
I can't lie. I was kind of smitten from the beginning. Our conversations.
Okay.
I could tell him anything. Because when we first got cool, I was telling him about the dude I was hung up on. Like I could talk to him about anything. We were very open with each other about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I knew then, and I'm kind of a weirdo, and he like took my weirdness like on the chin, like it wasn't weird to him. So I think knowing that I could talk to him about anything, like even stuff that was terrible, even when we playing around acting like we don't like each other, I'm telling you about the old dude. But knowing then, I was like, all right.
So basically, it's the power of transparency, basically.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Transparency did it. Knowing that both of y'all, neither one of y'all had nothing, and y'all was ready to build no matter what, and y'all was willing to stick it out.
Right.
Because most people ain't doing that. That relationship has been grandfathered. Y'all ain't gonna find it. Ain't nobody gonna find that.
If we was to ever leave each other, we'll be in divorce court. They say divorce final. We'd be like, "What we going to eat after this?" We'll leave. You want to go to Ruth Chris? We'll be the people that'll be right back remarried in like 2 weeks.
That is hilarious.
That is.
So Rolando, how long have you been coaching? How long have you been doing that?
Well, since I was probably like 19, so I'm 33 now, so for a while.
So what got you into that? What got you into coaching?
So when I was growing, I grew up in the YMCA.
Okay.
So like the YMCA in my neighborhood was a big thing. It was either outlet. Besides I grew up with both parents, so I grew up with a stable background and everything. But it's always good to hear stuff from other people. As you guys know, you got kids. You'll tell them the same thing, and somebody else will tell them the same thing, and they'll listen to them.
That's true.
So that's kind of was like the YMCA was my outlet. I had maybe like 4 or 5 people, adults that worked up there. Then one of my good friends, JB, mom worked at the YMCA. She knows JB. That's my main man. Like, so we grew up playing ball up there, every sport, refereeing. The YMCA gave me my foundation in life, outside of my parents. They gave me my first job. They taught me how clerical stuff, mannerism outside of your parents. It was like a family-oriented thing. So YMCA kind of made me a jack of all trades because I could do anything from work the front desk to work in the weight room to run the scoreboard to refereeing to coaching. So it made you diverse into everything that was going on around.
Okay, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. Now, I understand you went to you was at the Pass the Baton event, and you were the bartender there.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of people talked very highly of you. I even heard you in a room one time. So a lot of people gravitate to you. What did you get out of the experience of Pass the Baton when you were there?
Well,
Besides the serving people, what did you get out of that?
so I was in there listening to. So I coach, right? But I coach girls.
Okay.
My theory to coaching girls is guys are more athletic, but girls listen more. And once you can get a girl to trust you and they hone in, and you can hone in on building their confidence, you can see it works major. So I've been coaching girls AAU for about what 4 years,
4 or 5 years,
4 or 5 years now. And when I first started off, it was just like my buddy had a girls team, and we call they're called Lady OTOD. At the time, he had just got like 7 girls because another program stopped right before COVID and all that. So he was like, "Man, I can't do it." And I was like, "I can do it." So it was like 7 of them. So we took them on their first trip out of town, and they did pretty good. They came in second place. So that summer we had 7, and the next summer we come back, we go from 7 to 15. And then the next summer we come back from 15 to 30 girls. All of these girls are high school students at the time. So my first 3 years were straight high school girls.
Okay.
And and I was getting girls from what would be considered at the time a powerhouse high school. They were leaving a lot of bigger organizations because it was more about money than it was about caring for kids.
Yeah.
So like me and my wife was like an outlet for them. So I tell people this all the time, and a lot of people laugh at it. Like me and my assistant coach, my wife and his wife, like these kids, we treat them like they're our own kids. So we've had kids in our program who lose family members, single parents, whatever the situation may be, we can relate to the kids. We were an outlet for them. And, we're in our early 30s, kids 18, 19. So, I mean, we're like 15 years out of high school, but, 16, 17, 18, we can relate to. We understand what you're going through. We understand.
And most of the time, you rather talk to somebody else than your parents.
Correct.
Yeah, true.
Correct. So that kind of like that was my big push for girls. Like Pass the Baton, there was a lot of women up there on stage. They were talking about the different things they went through as far as like in life, as far as trying to level up, as far as what they've dealt with family members emotionally, physically, mentally. Like I heard a lot of women get up there talking about their past when they were kids and stuff. So like it really dawned on me last year when I took my first high school job. It just dawned on me like this is something I was doing. I like basketball, teaching girls and watching girls grow. But then when I realized, like I have a couple girls on my team that have issues now, fatherly, like dad might not be around, or what I'm saying, dad doesn't want to be around, and the kids look at you like. I had a parent tell me this weekend that you're the dad in my house and you're not even the dad. Like all you do is just coach him and you're nice. Like when something go wrong, I have a girl, she'll text me. My wife will tell you, she'll text me in a heartbeat, like, this is what I'm dealing with my dad, or this is what I'm dealing with. And I'm kind of, trying to give them words of encouragement without, telling them just don't worry about,
It's deeper than sports for us, basically. Right.
So basketball, I just try to use it as an outlet for a lot of these kids. So the perception yes, ma'am.
No, I was gonna say, because you do so much, with coaching and things of that nature. Now I know you two are parents, so how do you even juggle being a parent and having to cater to your children, and now you got extended family, you got other kids now that you claim as your own. How do you find the balance in that?
We have a huge calendar, and y'all can see it right behind his head.
It's always loaded, but literally like with the AAU stuff to it and the things of it, it's like it works out so perfect because the kids I coach, even my school ball kids, they know my kids and my kids know them. Yeah. So it's like it's one big family. It's like they got older siblings. So like we just lost.
So in the summertime they'll travel with us. Sometimes they don't. Like we have a sitter they won't, but pretty much like either they with us or they're not with us. But you definitely have to balance your time and time management. I'm very big on having a planner and a calendar because sometimes, there's always a person that's not as good with time management. But that's basically how you have to do it. I mean, sometimes you do feel like you stretch too thin, but at the end of the day, it's like you're doing it for a good cause, and it's something that, especially like now that our kids are getting older, I tell them, and they understand it. Like, they see that we don't work like typical parents. We're doing other things. I have to tell this is things that we're doing to solidify your future. So even if you don't see mommy and daddy, just know we set you up. So in the future, like you don't got to worry about A, B, and C. So we definitely try to make time for them, but it comes with top tier time management.
Yeah.
So like the thing about it that makes our life a little bit more easier, and I'll just be honest, is the traditional job. The traditional job is not what we do. So like when I say like the traditional job, like the 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, we
don't get me wrong, we live that life now.
Right,
at one point, we were
right.
It was 3 jobs between us.
Yes,
but we definitely weren't seeing our kids then, and we needed. That's the way we had to make money at the time. But that was a stepping stone. But it's like we realized we have a lot of kids because between us two, it's 5.
Right,
then we have a son that's disabled, like fully disabled, depends on us for everything. So like the older they got, it's like it started getting sad because you have to miss this, and then my son has doctor's appointments, so we knew we had to find a different route because it's like I'm not gonna spend my life slaving away and then none of my kids know me.
And my biggest, no, seriously, y'all, say this real quick, and we can go to the next situation. But I watched my mom and dad both. My dad worked in a factory for 35 years, and what he has to show for it. And I mean this with the utmost respect is 2 ACL repairs, a hip replacement, and then he turned around and had to get his knee replaced just for them barely to give him. He's still fighting to get full coverage insurance and for 30 years he worked in a job. You know what I'm saying? So the traditional job of it just wasn't me. I've worked the traditional jobs. I worked at Budweiser for a little while. I worked at the restaurant field for a little while. I've done some. If you name it, I've probably done it. Like even working at the YMCA, I love the YMCA, but the YMCA pay rate just wasn't. You can't take care of a family.
Yeah,
if you want nice things in life off of that type of stuff.
Okay. Wow. I have an interesting question. I was thinking about while y'all was talking. How do you navigate the conversation of helping one of your basketball players, one of the young girls who doesn't have a father, and don't allow it to alienate the relationship between the mother? Like how do y'all bypass that? Because some families like you can't talk about child like that and without me being in the mix. Like how do y'all get past it and navigate?
Well, I'll say this: all of our kids that are like that, most of the time, like we like this with the mamas.
Okay.
So honestly, we haven't even ran into that situation because it's like we know which child, like they gravitate towards, like even the parents. So it's not like we just with the child, it's like, oh no, we're cool with the mamas. Look, we still talk to the ones that went on to college. Like if they having trouble in college, their parents will reach back out to us. But yeah, so we haven't ran into that issue because like it's literally like a big family. We know like what boundaries we have anyway with the parents. A lot of times they'll come and tell us, hey, you need to talk to her before the child comes to us.
Yeah, not even just that. Like I ran into an issue kind of like Saturday. I have 2 girls in my school team. Their dad just is obsolete. After their mom and dad got divorced, they were like 4 or 5. Seen dad at grandma's 100th birthday. Dad was being a butthole, that type of thing. And they after practice, they gravitated to me Saturday and was talking to me. And what I always tell parents, because I'm a father, right? And I always explain to my young ladies, like, you're only responsible for how you treat people. I always say, honor thy mother and father, and your days be longer. I say, no matter what your father's done, no matter if your father's not worth a hill of beans, that's not your call. You have to respect him as your father. Not saying it's going to be easy, not saying that it's right, but no matter what, show him the respect that he deserves. And one of my girls, she's a senior now. She's ran for this, she's ran for homecoming, she ran for this, she ran for that. Like her dad just doesn't show up. He doesn't care. Like, so like I always tell them, like, you're only held accountable for what you do towards him. I said, like, he might be dead wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say he's right, but as a child, you still have to be a child. He done text the kids, I know this happened, blase squaze, this and that. Your mama can't do this. Like he does stuff like that to the kids. He'll text it to the kids, and every time they come to me, I give them the same spiel. And the youngest one, she's like, she don't even like to talk about it. But the oldest one, and I'm trying to explain to her in life, like, you're becoming a young lady. You have other male figures in your life that care and love you. Like, you can't say, oh, my dad's not here, I'm missing him, when you have 3 other coaches, 2 guys that work with you hand in hand, and then the assistant AD who's a black male also who's working with you hand in hand. So you can't, you might not have your dad, but God bless you to have 3 other people to kind of try to help you out in your life.
With the girls that doesn't have the fathers in their lives, what have you seen the pattern in their behavior? What pattern have you seen?
I'll be honest, a lot of them don't know what they want in life. And when I say like, as far as a figure, like a partner, or you will have a lot of girls who like, would gravitate toward liking girls, or a lot of girls who just like, what I'm saying? It can be sticky. Like it's just so hard. There's just so many different situations. Like we had a young lady for a while, and her mom was dating a woman the whole time, but her mom would just literally just send the money with her and just drop her off. But by the time her senior year got around, her mom would start coming around a little bit more because she's seen the positivity that we had towards her daughter. And don't get me wrong, her daughter's a 4.0 student, stayed under the radar, like was real chill, didn't cause any problems. And when she graduated high school, the saving grace was by that time her mom and dad were starting to get back okay, like as far as co-parenting. So her dad would come to her basketball stuff. Her dad would get involved with me with like helping pay for her stuff. So in a 3-year span, you would go from never seeing a dad or knowing who dad is to at least dad will respond to a text and be like, how much is this and how much is that? To some kids, that's all they want to see. It's my dad's and my parents there. Because a lot of kids, that's everything. Like, I don't know how I feel to not grow up without a father because my dad was always there. And if my dad wasn't there, he was working. So I understood why he was there. But you got a lot of young ladies who don't have that. Nobody looked to the sideline. And so I would make it my business to go to a lot of their high school games before I started coaching. Me and my wife would be at everything. Like some of our kids had going on. Flag football, basketball, whatever they had going on, we were there because we knew what they needed to get them through everything. Sometimes just seeing that person there, knowing that they care, meant a lot. And a lot of our kids came from the same school, which is an inner city school, and they needed an extra push.
I like that. I love that.
Before you ask anything, Crouch, before you ask anything else, because I see where you're going.
Okay.
And I love your questioning.
Okay.
But, I don't want to spill too much for the next show, because Lando is going to be on our show next week talking about coaching. Okay. Black fathers who coach.
Okay.
And we're going to be getting more into detail on his mentoring. You know what I mean? So I don't want to take too much away, because I see where you're going with this. So I got to stop you. I got to pull you at the reins right now, before you go too far, But
well, the thing about it is, Sharon, is that, I'm a father and I have a daughter. So I understand the importance of that relationship. That's vital.
It is.
Because when the father ain't there for the daughter, that girl is off the chain. I've seen it.
Yeah, and then sometimes parents don't realize like our kid or lash out because they don't know how to explain that they want what another kid got. Like I had a parent say that this weekend. Like she told me at a practice, like my daughter, admires what you guys are doing because like our dad's not there. You know what I'm saying? Like she wants a male figure. It's just mama. You know what I'm saying? Like, like mama, we're gonna give them all we can give them, But at the end of the day, I cannot be compared. I say it respectfully, I cannot be compared to their dad or be their dad. All I can be is a positive male role model. Don't try to and I always tell the kids, don't try to exit out your father. You know what I'm saying? Or move him out and substitute me for a father or something like that because I'm human just like your father.
Yeah.
But Shawan, man, you don't talk about the value of having both parents. That balance.
We have. You
Because
know,
when you don't have both parents, there's an imbalance. You need both sides. It's things now that a daughter can't get from the mom that the father can only give. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women think that we're not emotional, we don't care, this and the third. But my thing is, we don't trip off certain things that women do.
Yeah.
And that's if that's all you got, and that's all she gonna operate in, she gonna be messed up with men when it come to men.
Yeah.
Period. You know what I'm saying? Now, I was in my daughter's life her whole life, but for the most part, I was a long distance dad, and I hated that. But when my daughter's mom passed when she was 17, my daughter was jacked up after that. You know what I'm saying? I'm her only parent now. And when she didn't have her mom, I thank God she was 17 when she lost her, because at least she dealt with a lot of stuff by then.
Right. She had those primary years.
Yeah.
Correct. But even then, after that, she started, as much as I was in her life. Well, you know what? I wish you'd have did more and because her mom wasn't there.
He's still here, y'all. He just go and check on my son.
Right. So she let me have it. So I understand the value of having both parents. I understand the value of
And I know where you're going with that too, because it's like my stepfather was there from a very early age, but I was a military brat. So my stepdaddy was like real hard on us. I used to think he was the meanest thing walking. My relationship with my real father, it was kind of non-existent as a kid. It was like very off and on. So like you said, you'll wild out if you don't have your father. So even though like I had my stepdaddy in the house, like my stepdaddy, like I said, he was a military man, so he was kind of. So when you don't have that bond, yeah, because I had a period of wilding out.
And you know what? It's funny you say. It's funny you say that, because when my daughter was little, I was hard on her. Everybody thought because I was gonna have a girl, but I was like, oh come on. No, I was on her head. I was on her throat.
That's how my stepdaddy.
I said, look, you ain't got no dumb father. I ain't gonna have no dumb kid. Period. So my thing
the crazy part about it is I came back. This was actually 2 years ago, and I called my stepdaddy one day on the phone, and I said thank you. He was like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Because I promise you, like being an adult and dealing with adults who wasn't raised like me, who wasn't raised to always hustle and go get it, who wasn't raised to take care of responsibilities and just be a real adult." I said, "Boy, I would have been lost out here." And he bust out laughing.
Right, and you know what? It's funny because my daughter was like, and she still tells this story all the time. She said, "Daddy, you was on me," because I was on her about math, about school. I went over her school, all that. So now my grandkids, all three of them are on honor roll. Why? Because I planted that seed.
Yep.
I was on her head. I'm like, look, you are a black woman. You are at the bottom of the totem pole. I gotta make sure I speak life and value in you, so you can know who the hell you are, and everybody else can too. So now that she got that attitude, after her mom, because I honestly thought when she had kids, I thought she wasn't going to make it. She wasn't going to be successful in raising them right, because her mom passed. But she a beast, and I thank God for that. That's what prayer does too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it makes a big deal. Makes a big deal.
Oh, and now it's my turn.
Yeah, he don't want to. So he don't want to sit still. So right now, there's nobody at the house but me, my wife, and Jordan. So yeah, so give you a little overview of Jordan. Jordan is our special needs child.
Okay.
So he suffered an injury at birth, a doctor's mistake. So now he has cerebral palsy. So he can't really. He has what they call spasticity, so he can't walk, talk, anything like that. So he eats through a feeding tube and goes therapy 2 or 3 times a week. But he's doing fine. So he died at birth, and they got him back. So they say maybe 2 years span of life, and he's just turned 5 in July. So we thank you for that. Yes, sir.
Wow.
That's a blessing.
That is a blessing.
Yeah. So
now I know we're gonna be talking to Angel on another show about your son, but from the perspective of being young parents, and this situation occurs that's out of your control, how did that, I guess, change the dynamics, if any, with your relationship? Like, did that bring you two even closer? Because now you're in a situation where you have a child that is fully in need of your care. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Being a parent alone is a job. You know what I mean? But when you have a disabled child, it's like a greater responsibility.
It definitely is.
So how did that like change the dynamics of your relationship? Because I'm sure he wasn't the first. You know,
Number 4.
He was number 4, right?
Lord.
I think I'll start that one off. So it did bring us closer. In the beginning, it could have torn us apart, and it was so funny because I'm a reader and I'm a researcher. So I had read and it was like, I think the divorce rate for special needs parents is like 80 to 85%,
Ooh.
which is sky high. And there was a point in time where I was like, I see why it is.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily like you're two different people. So basically, I grieve different than he grieves.
Mm.
So, and he's never judged me for it, but it's like, what do you do when one parent, because in the beginning, I was a bucket of tears. Like, like I cried at everything. And he kind of took the approach where, okay, this is life. Not saying I'm not mad. He wasn't mad, but he wouldn't show it. So then I'd be like, you all right? Like, you fine? Like, this is fine to you? And he'd be like, no, it's not fine to me. And I'd be like, well, you're acting like it's fine to you. It's just it's a bucket of emotions. So to me, even though there's nothing you should be mad at somebody about, but I just was like, I didn't like the way that how his grief transformed to me. Like, I just feel like you're not as mad as me. But then I had to realize, like, I'm the mother is something he told me. He's like, not saying I don't feel the same way you do, but your grief is going to be different. You carried him inside your womb.
Correct.
Right, right. You almost passed away with him. Like, so your grief is, your journey with this is going to always look different.
Always, right.
Always look different. So now I do feel like it brings us closer because even when he was first born, we were still like struggling. So we had to really get it out the mud. Like after he was born, he was working 2 jobs. I was working a full-time job in corporate America. We really didn't have we didn't get nursing until he was 6 months old. Mind you, he was sick from the get-go. Like he had a brain injury from the get-go. Like I thought I don't know. It was rough.
Yeah.
Just now he just turned 5 this summer, and I just now, like, a lot of things I'm starting to sit back and like my memory starting to replay because it's like you've been on tunnel vision and survival mode for 5 years. And that first year and a half, I don't understand how we were surviving because we still had him, we had other kids, we was working all these jobs trying to make ends meet, but it brought us closer because it's like we was in the trenches together. And one thing you'll never be able to tell me about, anybody else would have folded in the situation we was in. Anybody else would have folded. And he stood in the trenches with me. We stood in the trenches together and like came up with a game plan. It's crazy because if you ask people who know us, I got a friend, she's like, do you cry? I've never seen you cry. I cry all the time. But it's like we put on that front, like you would have never known shit was as hard as it was. Like, excuse my French, you've never known it, but it definitely brought us together. In the beginning, like I said, it can get rough, but like I know he gonna stand in the trenches with me 10 toes down.
Now I see what all the fuss was about between y'all because y'all are not normal. I mean, honest God. I mean, I have talked to a gazillion people in my lifetime.
Yeah.
But I've never talked to nobody that age demographic that is like that. Like y'all have old souls. Y'all understand the value of commitment. A lot of people don't understand what commitment is. They piss you off one time, they chuck it up the deuces. I'm out.
And it's something I learned like in the last year. And not necessarily that I learned, but I guess I took some time and I was thinking hard on it. And I just was thinking about like, okay, how I was at 2019 when I was in college and like how I am as a grown woman now. And it's like, okay, this changed about me, that changed about me. And even I was having a conversation with some friends from college, like male and females, about relationships and just how I've changed and evolved over the last 11, 12 years. He has too. So if you're gonna, and people don't understand, especially people our age now don't understand, like we got married at 25 and 27. We 31 and 33 now, and we've been together since we was 21 and 23. We're
Wow.
not the same people. So it's like you think that that 27-year-old that was standing at the altar, that's the same person. No, I'm glad it's not the same person.
Right.
But you don't understand, like when you say marriage, it literally means for life. Like you have to grow through the stages. Like you're not gonna like each other every single day. You're not. Because half the time we don't like ourselves every single day. So how you
Right.
be married to somebody and you think, and not to say that that should be a constant thing, but it's like you have to grow and evolve. Now, if you're not growing and evolving together, then that's one thing. But we're not the same people we were at 21 as we are at 31 and 33. So I think that's what a lot of people our age don't understand. Like, if you're gonna say for life, you got to go through all the stages. That don't just mean happily ever after, and we're gonna skip off into the sunset for the rest of our life.
Um, I'll say this just to get just to button up on what she was saying and something you said, David. Like our biggest fight after we had our son Jordan, that's the one with special needs, was
Mm-hmm.
she felt like I was emotionless, and
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of just like I went in survival mode in my mind. If this makes sense to me, I would go to work. I was working at a place called Ale House. It's like a big time like sports bar. So I would go to work
And in
sometimes.
the deli in the morning.
I would go to a deli in the morning from six to two, and then get off, pick up the kids, leave the house at 5, and go to work from 5 to like 2 in the morning. Come home on the other side of town. That's like 30 minutes. Go to bed for 3 hours. Do that like 5 days a week. Then I would work like doubles on Sunday.
Good God.
Like I was like getting it, but in my mind, like,
For
so I'm
real.
gonna be honest with you. At that time, I was in like, we gotta still pay bills. We gotta still, maintain everything. On top of all of that, we had, like she said, we had other kids, and then on top of that, I have an outside son who's older. So dealing with the when we got married, the foolishness from my son's mother, with the antics of child support and holding the kid for a little while, and just foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
And just being honest, like it was a point in my life that I had to back away from my oldest son to survive my marriage, and she didn't understand that. She felt like I was neglecting him, but it was like I can't sit here and fight tooth and nail,
Facts.
pay child support,
I already understand.
get my kid,
I get it.
spend money on him, and still give this woman money, and then take care of you and these other kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So in her mind, when I was like, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I had to push my oldest son to the side for almost a year and a half, see him only holidays, certain situations, because on the outside looking in, a lot of people don't realize we didn't have a lot of help.
Right.
My parents are old school, 1950s, my parents in their 60s. So they thinking like stuff got to be the way they live it, and we living in a totally different generation.
Correct.
So then like I realized it took me a long time that I had to realize that I didn't have to choose my wife or my mom. I had to realize my mama had to go in her place. So once I realized my mom has a place, and you put your parents in their place, I fell back from my parents. To this day, I love my mom and dad, but not a lot of them is a good thing. And a lot of people think,
That's deep. That's deep.
It is.
And then I was gonna say, now that's the carnal part of it. You ain't even talking about the spiritual warfare, because the enemy hates marriage.
Yeah.
He hates marriage because marriage involves love. That's God. So he don't hate y'all. He hates God. So he gonna try to destroy you to mock God.
Yeah.
So if you ain't strong spiritually, as well as that, you're gonna fail too. So I mean, so I think that's why I think myself, Shawan, and a lot of people that know y'all situation or familiar with it have so much respect for y'all, because we know it's on both sides.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? It's no
Like
joke.
you want everybody just seeing, oh, their son is sick. We still got to deal with everything else. Still got to deal with, if we got marital problems, we still got to deal with other children. You still got to deal with yourself and your growth. So it was It was a lot. Don't get me wrong. I tell people all the time, I don't know how I ain't smoking crack rock because baby, life was lifing. Life was really lifing at the time.
But thing is, like, y'all are laughing, like, but though, like the way life was lifing, she would be so upset and be crying. I'd just be like, okay, we'll figure it out. And the reason why it was like that, because in my mind, if like when it came to, if it's something I can obtain, it's a money situation, I ain't got to steal, I ain't got to rob, I just go work. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So some people, like all my friends, they be like, you gotta be part Jamaican because you'll cut grass, you'll do whatever you have to do, like you'll do whatever.
Pin job.
Yeah.
I understand.
Like that was always my thing. Is like, boom. Like I'll be telling my wife, like, this weekend coming up, I'm going to bartend for somebody in Orlando, right? My buddy called me and said, hey, can you and JB go bartend for us?
Mm-hmm.
I said, what you doing Friday? He said, we own it. Just tell them we good. But my thing is, in life, if you just keep moving, you never have time to sit there and think about what's going on. When I first met Shawana, and we were talking like on the phone one day, and I told her, I was like, you're probably the first person I ever tell this. And I say this on here, it's like the second time I ever said this. Mm-hmm. She didn't understand, like, I seen my child when they took him from her. Mm-hmm. And the doctor came and told me, I'm so sorry, this and that and that. And I seen my child blue. Like blue. Mm. So that's something, like I said, I never really spoke a lot about and things of that nature. In my mind, it was like they brought him back to life from blue. I think him go from being blue to color coming back to him, and then him swelling like a lot, swelling up. That is traumatizing. Traumatizing.
Right.
It is.
Right. And so to a certain extent, it's like years I never spoke about it, never would say anything about it and things of that nature. But I realized, like, that is a part of the story. Like, that is what really made me go 110% harder than what I was going. Because I almost lost my wife and my kid because of a doctor's mistake.
Negligence.
And I went negligence. And my thing is, she would be so mad at the doctor, and I would be like, it's over now. Like, you might not think it's not eating her up, but you don't know how that made her. It might be killing her mental, also not giving her a pass of it. But if I'm sitting here stuck on being mad at her, I can't focus on what's more important to me. She's not that important.
I like that.
No disrespect to her as a human being or a person. She's not on my everyday list.
Yeah. And you know what, Rolando, I think with men, that women don't understand is, they think we harness it and that we don't have feelings about it. We just deal with it differently. You know what I'm saying? Even when me and Shawana talk, like, she may talk about something, I'll be okay, are you done? Okay, let's go. What we gotta do? I ain't got time for that. Let's go.
Well, my wife would tell me, my wife would tell me,
okay, I heard you the 5th time, nigga. Let's go.
my wife will have this conversation, y'all laugh at this. She'll be like, it's a meme that I sent her one time. She'll be like, you got friends, and like, oh, you got a friend, and I've been knowing this guy for my whole life. Never seen his dad, right? Never asked about his dad.
Right.
I bring my wife around. Who's your dad? I ain't never heard you say that about your dad. Like, I'm looking at her like, I've been knowing this man since I was 15. Now I'm finna have to fight. I ain't never heard him. Nobody talk about their daddy. And like, so she get him to talk about his daddy and all this shit. And I'm sitting over, excuse my language, y'all, like this. And so everybody like, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing. And then so she go, cause I'm like, and then so she like, cause I know why. And I'm like, cause you messy, like you nosy.
The conversation she talked about that night, he ended up telling me, he's like, I've never gotten to have those conversations with people, like, because men don't talk about it. And he wasn't disrespectful. He wasn't never mad at me and nothing like that. But it's just like, me and he also used to bottling stuff up. So
not even bottling stuff up. Like, Miss David, if it don't bring itself to you, do you bring it up?
Facts.
If you see it's like I got a friend, every time I see him,
it's facts.
He got a different chick, right? So what I do is he got 2 or 3 of them. Hey, which one you bringing when we go out tonight with my wife, so I can let my wife know who comes. That ain't my business.
Right. But you know what it is, Rolando? Men are very non-confrontational. We don't like all that. We don't like all that messiness and
So
yelling.
you think it's confrontational, but the whole time it was a whole therapy session. It was a whole.
But to me, it's confrontational because, like, guess what? I can have a friend and I don't remember his exact birthday, but I know it's this week. We won't argue about it. But if a girl don't remember her homegirl birthday,
oh my God,
they falling out. Girl, you don't remember my birthday, blah blah. I know my wife's birthday. I know my kid's birthday. I'm good to go.
Right.
But that's just how we kind of like bond and certain stuff, because like a lot of stuff will pass over my head, even when coaching kids and stuff. And my wife would be like, "You ain't know this so and so mom and daddy, or so and so daddy this." No, baby, that's what women do. I don't pick up on like a lot of stuff. I blow over because my mindset is to take care of the kid. Like adults is something else, but the kids is my main focus.
Now, I got to stop you because I'm gonna go to Shawan with the. Oh yeah, I'm coming to you, honey. I'm coming to you.
Oh, see, I knew this.
Last week, I had a conversation with our last guest. I said, look, we need to have a forum with men and women on it so we can understand each other and how to communicate. Because a lot of women assume how we think. That's not how men think. We don't go on assumption. Nigga, we got to ask questions. But y'all can have a code and say a few words to know what the whole conversation about.
Correct.
That is how we think.
We do.
We don't think like that. I tell this nigga, I said, nigga, hold on, wait. Nigga, let's start from the beginning. You can't start in the middle and expect me to figure the whole thing out. What the hell are you doing? You got to start from the beginning. Because if you start in the middle, I'm going to be like, what the hell are you talking about?
Granny coming?
I'm going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? I got to know the whole thing. You can't give me bits and pieces and expect me to figure the whole thing out. I'm not going to do that much work with my brain.
No, because most of the time it ain't that serious for me to do.
Period. Period. Exactly. So my thing is that, okay, and nothing will be is, I'm like, okay, what's your point? Let's get to the bottom line. What's your point?
Yes.
So your point is what?
Yes.
You saying all this for what? What is that about? What's the bottom line? What? Who is Cherie and what the hell has her mama got to do with what we talking about?
Exactly. And listen, you walk in. Listen, I walk in the room. My wife on the phone with her best friend. They be like, then they got the phone. Like, what's going on, girl? So and so. Okay, listen. Okay. Like, even with celebrities, she'll tell me stuff about celebrities. I be like, I don't care. Them people, they live rich people problems.
Right. Okay. Me and Shawan had this talk earlier too. Like, this is the part I never understand about people. Period. Like, I was watching something on Housewives of the Last. I saw a snippet of something. I was scrolling through something, and I'm like, why do women care that much?
They ain't got nothing better to do.
Dude, you know what? That's gonna make your blood pressure go up unnecessarily. All of this stuff for what? What does that have to benefit you? How are you going to be the beneficiary of that information?
I'm just a wealth of knowledge when it comes to anything. So whether it's like politics, entertainment.
I get it. But if it's stressing you out and you fussing about it and offended and mad about it, I feel like this. If you're not going to do anything about it, your mic is off. I don't even want to hear it.
You reclaim.
I agree and would like to add. I'm glad that I don't feel this way by myself.
No, sir, you do not. No, sir, you do not.
She will tell you.
I preach this every day. My daughter will call me. My 30-year-old daughter call me and be like, Dad. I'm like, okay, so what's your point? So what's this about again? I done forgot what the hell you talking about. What are you talking about? So who did what? Oh, okay. And what does that have to do with you? Nothing. And why we have this conversation?
Hold on.
Okay.
What I always say, they ain't got nothing. My favorite thing to do, like we had a kid, right?
Right.
Dad was bat crap crazy.
Right.
He was just wild, like
right.
Got put out of gyms. He would come with a Moses cane in shades. All of his daughters. I am not overstating. This man showed out everywhere we went, right?
Right.
Everywhere we went.
Right.
It never bothered me.
It is me.
You gonna say something else? You gonna have the referees. Look, this one of my friends was like the head coach of the team, and I was assistant. I said, right. I'm all right. This man does this everywhere we go.
Right.
Like he just like they finally banned him from her high school games and stuff. That man was just like, but it never got to me to be like, you know what? I'm gonna go talk to him and see what's his mental. No,
Baby, I'm asking questions.
no, I'm not gonna ask you anything. You stay over there and do you.
Facts.
I'm gonna coach your
Facts.
child. Me and you ain't got no problem, so I don't care what.
Right. Now, if you come over there and touch one of us, then
Right.
the conversation changes.
Not even just touching us, but the way
Now
you
we gotta get
carry
into some
yourself.
gangster shit.
Correct.
Now we gonna have to get some gangster stuff. Okay. But until then, right, you stay on that side, I stay on this side, we ain't got no problem.
Like I said,
He was Rafiki with that pole off Lion King.
I just want to be knowledgeable on everything. That's it.
Huh?
I just like to be knowledgeable on everything. I take account of everything.
Understood.
I agree. I'm with you on JR. I'm with you. You know,
Now,
me and David, we go through this every day.
oh my God. What?
It's always something.
Now I gave Shawan a powerful story the other day because I'm praying and I'm in my word every day about something. God to give me something. So I said, Shawan, I had an epiphany I was reading about the story about Adam and Eve. Now, God made Eve because he saw that there was a problem. God made Eve with the intent to fix the problem. So you're here for the reason of fixing problems. So so my thing is, I understand you acknowledging and wanting to accrue all of that wisdom. I get it. Makes sense. The thing about it is when you're wanting to get all this information, it's what you need it for. Now, if it's for frivolous stuff that ain't got nothing to do with you and ain't gonna benefit you, I'm like, what's the purpose of acquiring it? Now, but you have to be knowledgeable of a lot of stuff because it's a lot of people that'll try you.
Definitely.
A lot of people that try to take advantage of you.
Definitely.
So yeah, it's beneficial to you to acquire as much information as possible. So I understand. I do.
Mm.
I'm sorry. I'm
gonna roll the footage back.
That's fine. You can roll the footage. It's okay.
Okay.
I'm okay with the footage. See how calm I am? I'm real calm.
Exactly.
Ain't no problem.
This is not the norm, y'all. This is not the norm.
But my thing is, when you come to me with foolishness and all of this craziness, your mic is off. I clock out right there. I'm here, but I'm not here. Like it goes in one and out the other. I don't even want to hear it.
Well, not even just that. I think this not even just like about foolishness and anything. Just in a real life situation and things of that, like take it like boom, going to work, right? Going to work. The foolishness that goes around you at work. I've worked in some horrible situations, and she's laughing. Like I worked in restaurants, so I've seen stuff from like people crackhead, working with crackheads, working with like seriously, like I worked in restaurants my whole life.
There's a lot of crackheads working in restaurants.
So like you would think working in good jobs, like not like McDonald's, Burger King, but like good jobs, nice restaurants. You go to eat and things, and
there's still crackheads in the back.
So it's crackheads fixing my steak, my food.
Yes.
Oh my God,
Lord, and I'll be on Shawan about washing her hands.
But I'm seriously, I've seen everything. I've had a car. Then I got my car key. My car got keyed because it was a guy that worked with me. He was on work release. Got out of the jail and stuff. He was messing with a guy, a gay man. Guy came to our job dressed in high heels, like a woman. And so the guy wouldn't come outside. So everybody that was late, he came back late night and we closed it and keyed everybody's car. And as we were walking out of the store, we don't know our car is keyed. And I get a red bean put on my chest because I'm standing next to the guy. I've been in some terrible situations in restaurants. I've been at work before and two guys right next to me fighting, and I'm still trying to make salads and put them out the window to sell. I've seen some terrible stuff in restaurants. I've seen people's wives pull up and like they in the parking lot with another. Like I've seen it all. Like I can't make it up. I would come home and tell her this, and she wouldn't believe me. And I would call somebody and be like, "Tell my wife what happened at work."
It was just way too much crackhead behavior to believe, but it was true.
Like man, it just like. So that would be like, and I would come home, I would just tell her, and she'd be like, "That don't bother you, no? Because I got 60 hours this week. I don't care about that. They fired him. I'm gonna pick up his shift. Like that's always in my mindset. Like I think that's the one trait I think my dad had that I really picked up on a lot of, just not caring about what other people got going on.
Yeah.
And that could be a good and bad thing. It can be. Because sometimes it'll make me, I'll be honest, at times I am very selfish. And when I say like, and it's not intentional.
Right. Right.
Like we have a thing in our household, like Sundays is her day. Well, last Sunday I had a basketball tournament with all my old friends. Sunday before that. So I lost sight of face, baby. I had a speck in my eye, and God cleared it up. So it's something we can laugh about. But what makes me, I think, what makes me and my wife work is she trusts me to go places and do stuff. You know, like I'm coming back. We spend time together. So like Monday night is our night. We go bowling every Monday night. Okay. So that's our one-on-one time. So it'll be me and her, or either me and my friend, a couple of my friends, and that, you know, they girlfriends or fiancés or whatever. We all go bowling. So that's our kick it spot. Mm-hmm. And we got other friends on Saturday. If we go out, we'll go to maybe the bar, to this little taco spot, or just something. She'll find something to do. Mm. Like I really hang out with my wife. So outside of my wife, the only other people I hang out with is guys I play basketball with. Right. Like most of them. And as I grew up, I had to learn this. And with you, I'm pretty sure you had. It's certain guys in my life to this day. My uncle told me this when I was 14, that you'll have friends that'll be lifetime friends, but they hold no value after certain situations in your life. So I got friends like to this day, I can go play basketball with them, but that's all I can do with them because they haven't grown in any other situation. They still stuck in 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
You know, I had that too.
And I got friends that are like, they got married around close to the same time, and we got married, or might have, you know, been thinking about getting married, but it's just that's not their type of their lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And I got friends like when it's just all guys, that's the only time I can hang out with them, because away from being all guys, they're wild. Mm. You have friends that don't take care of their kids. Like I got friends like, and I had somebody tell me one time, a child's mother, like, how can you still be friends with my baby's daddy and he don't take care of his kid? My favorite thing was, that ain't got nothing to do with me, baby.
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying? And so to some people, it's like, how can you turn deaf ears to certain stuff in life? But if I take on everybody else's problems, hint, hint, what I try to tell her, you'll be a bag of beans. Because you really take on a lot of unnecessary stuff in life. Yeah. And it goes back to our son being sick. Once our son was sick, and you sit down and look at the core of your family, and I say the core of your family, they're like your mother, your father, your grandparents, your aunties, your uncles, your cousins, everybody else. Nobody else can really deal with once we had a sick kid, nobody else could tell me anything.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to realize, like I said at the beginning, I was trying to balance my mom and my wife, and that was never the plan. The plan was putting my mom in her place. And a lot of people won't sit there and say that. Right. And once I realized, Mama, you got to fall back and do that. Yeah, a lot of people might not like the way, you know, a situation goes, but once like I told my mom, like, it's no disrespect to you. I love you to this world, but my family comes before what everything.
Period.
Right.
Period. Bottom line. And people still struggle with that. You know what I'm saying? The wife comes first, just flat out. It just is what it is.
Right. And I tell my wife in a heartbeat, like, I'll tell people in a heartbeat, no. We had a situation yesterday, and I was like, no. Why are you mad? I'm not mad. No. You know, it ain't gonna happen. Like, it ain't gonna happen. Like,
right.
I don't even want to go into details on it, but just know it ain't gonna happen. Right. And she was like, well, that's no. I said, you mad, and I'm telling you to text it from my phone. No. You know what I'm saying? So, but it comes up, no, you guys understand, like, it comes a point of my wife's family is more family oriented than mine. Mm-hmm. So, like, you know, growing up with all the cousins staying at the house, I didn't have that. Like, it was just me and I have one cousin. Me and him are like real close. All the rest of my family, they spread out, and we don't have family reunions like that. If I see you, it's good to see you. If I don't see you, it won't hurt my feelings.
Right.
I'm your cousin. I love you all. And I hate to say it, but the most time I see most of my family members, and you know, it sounds bad, but it's funerals. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because I like peace of mind. I don't want to know what Tom and Jerry and Keyshawn them got going on. I just want to see you on Facebook, smile at you, and keep living.
Right.
Because in my lifetime, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I've gotten more hurt from family members than I have from people in the street.
That's
Yep.
normally what happens. Right.
Yeah, so to a certain extent, it's like, nah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not because I think I'm better than nobody or nothing of that nature. I like my peace. Me and my wife got our own castle.
Protecting our peace.
Whether it got 30 kids throwing crayons in it, it's our castle. Whether it's basketball and Beyonce, because she like Beyonce and I like basketball, it's our castle. That's fine. I can live with it. No, you get what I'm saying? So protecting your peace is real, like serious.
Vital.
That's definitely the motto of this year.
Protecting your peace. Like,
that's vital.
And whenever you have to cut something or somebody off, it's just part of life.
God bless you.
Yeah.
May God bless you.
Do y'all pray a lot together?
We do. We do to a certain extent, but it's like
we fell off a little bit.
We fell off a little bit, but I know like in our own timing, when I say this is like, you don't like, I know she's praying and I know I'm praying and I can tell by our moves, like in situations. Our biggest thing is always making sure my wife think everything has to be on a timeline. And I'm so serious, like y'all, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like she wants it has to happen like this. Like, no, just let stuff like
what sign are you? What sign are you?
We both
Virgos.
We got the same birthday.
Same birthday.
Stop it.
Ow.
What?
Next Friday.
Stop playing with me. Stop.
Wow. Birthday he
different
was born
years.
2 years earlier.
Yep. September 22nd.
Wow.
I'm 89, she's 91. Yes, sir.
But one thing I will say is we're multifaceted, and it's like people who know it. One thing about us, we can go chill with Boosie or we can go chill with Obama. We just can switch it up like that.
Right.
And some of my friends that see us in a playful state will be out. But I tell people all the time, I said, when you change your life, you're gonna be somebody deacon. Because I will never forget the first night I was home from the hospital that I had our son. He got to what song? My Soul is Anchored. He played that song and I was just crying. We was praying. And I tell people all the time, I say, you're lucky if you get to meet that side of us. Because we have that side.
Yeah.
But that's why I say you have to be multifaceted in anything. So just as hard as we play, we pray. Just as hard as we play, we work. Look, we work hard for everything we want. But people don't understand that. And I think now we live in a time where everybody feel like you got to show every part of you. You don't. Just because the internet exists don't mean I got to show you every part of me, every side of me, the spiritual side, the working side. I don't have to. And then people don't understand, because one thing about it, we're going to keep you out of our business.
Yeah.
Nowadays, everybody feel like, I know people who are married and they whole family in their business. No. I don't make decisions off what my mama, my grandma, my auntie think. I don't make decisions off what this person think. When we come together and we have something going on, it's between us.
Yeah.
What decision we make, that's how it's gonna stand, and we don't matter. We don't care what it look like to the outside.
Yeah.
We are a team.
Right.
We'll correct each other once we get in the room. No, and I think that's something that a lot of people these days, like especially our age, don't understand. It's like, right. I'm not saying not to have an outlet. Look, I have to go to therapy. But you include so many people in your decision making when it's like, hey, we take care of our children, we pay the bills in our house. So the conversations need to be had between us. That's all. And
that was our big problem at the beginning. Like I'll be the first thing, I gave my parents too much. Like, well, mom, I'm trying to figure this out, this and that, and not realizing like I'm just thinking that's mama. But now I'm at the age where like I'm an adult. You don't need mama. It was to me.
And they're gonna give you advice based off of when they got married in 1980 something. This is a whole new world. And
not even just that. It's just like your whole life is mom and daddy, mommy and daddy, mom and daddy. Like I'll be the first to tell you. Till I met my wife, I was still at the crib at 21. Working 23, chilling. Like with a curfew. Like that's crazy. You can see here last night. We had this conversation the other night. I'm like, y'all, I could not walk out my mom and dad's house at the age of 23 to ask like 12 o'clock.
It's crazy. We cried laughing so bad because I was talking about how when me and him first got together and I went to go hang out with my homegirls and I went to a party. So I left the party and I was like, can you come back out So I'm laughing, and he like, that is so sad. I was 23 years old, and you had to text me, can I come back out? I was like, oh.
Because like my parents were old school, like
old school to
old
the
school
T,
to the
baby.
T.
That's old. Yeah.
So like, close the gate at night. Yeah. Yeah, we can laugh about it now, but like that's like
the kitchen is closed.
Yeah. Why you want making all that noise? Yeah. And I didn't realize it didn't dawn on me. Y'all laughing until like 2. Like I was enslaved by my enslaved by my parents. Like I wasn't coming to my mom and daddy's house late. Like if I was coming in late, I was getting off work, and I wasn't going there to take no bath to walk right back out. Oh no! If I walked out that house, you better not come back to the next day.
Right, you in. That's it.
Yeah, you in. But that was like to me. But that was to be honest, that like it's funny to laugh about it, but to a certain extent, kind of glad they were like that to a certain extent because in my young days, I was kind of I was reckless. I was young, silly, dumb, so. That was kind of like a protection from me. Like it kept me out of. I had a lot of friends, go to jail, get shot or get caught up in something they ain't supposed to be because you're somewhere you ain't supposed to be. And I had street smarts, but I wasn't street smart as I thought I was. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it taught me a lot. It helped me out a lot. But really, the best thing that happened to me in life, you know what I'm saying, besides my kids and family, was my wife. Besides meeting God, is my wife. Because she kept me. No, I gotta look at her. She keeps me with a balance. Like I didn't travel a lot before my wife. We go everywhere now, And like she's met people there, and I've met people. We've been places. We literally ate dinner and met JJ Watt before. Like we've been in situations like that. We've sat courtside at NBA games. We've been to the Grand Canyon. We've been.
That was Red Rock, not Grand.
No, what the one is?
That's Red Rock.
No, the one in Arizona. What's the one in Arizona? That's the Grand Canyon.
We didn't go to the Grand Canyon. We went to Red Rock.
Arizona.
That was another one. That wasn't the Grand Canyon.
Anyways, we've been places. I'm not good with places, but I've been a lot more places that I would have never. I can sit here and look at you guys and tell you I would never have been without my wife. Because I wouldn't have stepped outside of the norm. The norm is, I'm from Florida. We go down South Florida. We come back up Florida. We go to Georgia for a little bit. We come on back. We chill. My wife's like, let's go, man. You want to go to Boston? Let's go. We going to she never seen snow. Let's go. The only time I would go up north, my grandma was from Philly. So that was it. I think the hardest part ever of being married in my life, I think, literally is not my son being sick or anything like that. It's just losing my grandma. That was the hardest because I only had one grandmother. My dad's mom died when he was younger. So my grandma, we used to call her Nanny Roo. That was my everything. So when she moved down my senior year of high school from Philadelphia. She stayed in Philly for 30 years, moved back my senior year of high school. So that was like everything. So I got it. It was my grandma. She died 2 years ago now. 2021. Yeah, 2 years ago. She had cancer. So God bless her soul, but she was a good old lady. But one thing
she was a good old lady.
She was. Because that was Granny. Granny was just my grandma.
Sounded like somebody at a. She was a good old lady.
She was. I mean, that's just my way of not having, crying about it. But my grandma gave my wife her blessings. So that meant more than my mom blessings because my mom just always tic-tac. But my grandma and my wife never had any. My grandma always say, you got a good wife. She take care of them kids. My grandma was like, even with y'all son being, having special needs, she right there with you, things of that nature. So I was like, Granny was like, that's the one. And so
she was the only one that confirmed your decision that you made a good decision.
Well, whether grandma confirmed or not, I made a good decision. I knew that.
Right.
His parents don't.
But out of your relatives, your mom and dad didn't do that.
They don't like me.
Nah, and we're being honest. It's not that they don't.
Yeah, it's like at this point, I got to the point like when I was younger, it would bother me, but they don't like me.
Yeah, they don't. Oil and water. Because my mama sneaked this. My mom and daddy sneaked this. Y'all know what that means, right?
Right.
Sneak stuff.
Right.
They never came in my face and said it, but the actions and other stuff.
And like what other family members are saying, listen, I don't have time for it. And just in my life, the way my grandma passed and the way situations were handled after my grandma passed, that really turned me a deaf ear to my parents. If that makes sense, because I didn't like the way situations were handled, stuff was told to people and things of that nature. Like I didn't care for it.
But we keep it moving forward regardless.
Correct. I mean, you're just being honest. Like I love my mom and dad, but at the end of the day, I know how much of them I can take at one time, and a lot of people don't understand that. Like, it's just like
I understand that. I mean, it makes sense. I get it, and you want sometimes you got to keep a lot of people out of your business, and a lot of people don't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then it's like what makes it funny to me is you got people put their relationship on social media and be mad because people talk about it. It's like you giving them the gun to shoot you with.
Yeah.
Look, they put everything. I'm like, do y'all keep anything for yourself?
Right. Everything. Yeah. And that is mistake 1 through 10. When you put all your stuff on the social media.
Exactly.
And like you say, at the end of the day, my loyalty is in the Lord and my wife. You know, accountability is being held with these two people. So, anything else, just making sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to, as I've been doing. Feel like I've been doing since day one, is taking care of what I need to take care of.
Okay, what is your end goal in being a coach? Like, where do you want that to come? What are your aspirations of that becoming?
So really, and then me and my wife says all the time. So the biggest picture for me is to be a college recruiter, and I'll tell you why. It's not to be a college big time head coach or anything like that. Recruiting kids in my city is very, very important. My wife can explain that to you. Just the interactions that people have or are scared to have. My wife will tell you, I'll talk to anybody, and that's my gift of gab. I think. Like we go to AAU tournaments, we all over. It's 50, 60 coaches or whatever. I'm gonna speak to you like, hey, how you doing? My name's so and so, so so. Here's my card. This is my program. This and that. What you looking for, coach? I got a couple of 2024s or 2025s. This and that. They have these grades and that. Like I'll reach out. In my city, I feel like a lot of people have burnt relationships, and I want to say burnt relationships or sold dreams to coaches and giving them bad kids and recruits. That a lot of people are burnt from taking kids, and a lot of kids down in my area they look at sports as if you're not Division I, they think that's it. It's way more than the Division I. And as I got to coaching, I realized there's so many different levels of college athletes, and the scholarships that girls can get, like literally. Every summer, my wife finds at the end of the summer, we find a college coach calling you, emailing you, texting you, begging you, do you have any girls coach? Because girls athletes, like they're fewer. Besides Division I, it thins out every year. And so that's my goal, is to be a recruiter, just to give kids a chance. Somebody, come from something like I have a couple girls this year. One of them, she went to the 9th hour and she got opportunity, right? So I know what you put in your whole life. Once you got over here with me, I see what you were doing. I see how you were burnt by coaches or burnt by situations, and it almost took your passion for it. But I just pushed you. I kept pushing you. Your day gonna come. Your day gonna come. Your time gonna come. And that's the thing with life as adults. It might not come when you want it to, but it always come on time.
Right.
Like it's the same way with kids. Like this was the first year we sent 4 girls to college. Mm-hmm. One went to Division II, Johnson C. Smith. One went to St. Petersburg College in St. Petersburg, Florida. One went to FSCJ, and
this is one. No.
Yeah, those 3 went big time school. But what I'm more proud of, out of all the girls we had over the years, we've sent 3 girls to college with 2-year degrees. Wow. So it's bigger than basketball. So like they graduated high school with an AA or an AS degree. Yeah. So that's bigger than any basketball scholarship you can get.
We love basketball. Like I tell these kids, once you're out of high school, you're an adult.
Yeah.
So you gotta have a backup plan.
Right. That's right.
You gotta have a backup plan.
So that's the big thing about the basketball thing. So just trying to get all the kids involved and figuring your niche. Like everybody ain't gonna go to college for basketball. Some of y'all gonna join the military. Some of you gonna go straight to the workforce. We had a young lady went straight to the workforce, working for Merrill Lynch at 19 years old, making good money. Through a program partnership.
Just letting people know you got options.
You have options.
Right. Okay.
But sports teach you how to survive in the real world. Me and you both.
It does. So tell all of our listeners, where can they find you or anything that you have going right now so they can reach out to you if they need the help or assistance for anything regarding what you're doing.
You know what?
I'll go first. So my Instagram is Jeezy the Mogul, Geezy the Mogul.
Okay.
And my nonprofit page is at JCP Foundation INC. I'm over here trying to think. My business page is at Phillips Family Services, and then we're all on Facebook and Instagram. And then I have my websites, jcpfoundationinc.com or phillipsfamilyservices.com.
Okay.
From just one click away.
So for me, I have the girls AAU team, so it's called Lady OTOD, which stands for Lady One Team One Dream.
He said, "What's the social media?"
Yeah, so it's at, no, I'm just gonna say, so it's at Lady OTOD on Instagram. Then if you go on YouTube,
set it up. Let them set it up.
My God, you got to tell people what it stands for. And then if you type in Lady OTOD on YouTube, you'll see like games of my girls, some of my girls and former players playing on there, like highlight tapes and things of that nature. On Facebook, I am what? Londo Lewis Phillips. So that's my Facebook name on Facebook. And my Instagram name is Londo, not Rondo. So Londo, Lando, and not Rondo, like Rondo, the NBA player, number 9. So it has all my breakdowns on it. But right now I actually coach high school basketball at a small private Catholic school called Bishop John Snyder. So I'm the girls' head coach.
Okay.
So yes,
sir. How long you been doing that? So
this is my second year there. Last year I was the assistant, and then I got promoted halfway through the season to be the head coach.
Oh wow! Congratulations! Yeah. Okay.
So this year we're looking to do big things. One big thing that we are doing that my wife never really talks a lot about. So with our son Jordan, he has an Instagram, and it's called Go Green for Jordan. And so that with him being,
so it just highlights his life.
Okay. Things. Yeah. On what my school has allowed, which I always want to give my school a shout out. And we have a young black guy that took over as an assistant AD. His name is Russell Powell. He's doing great things at the school. But what they and the former head coach, Mr. Ardell Jones. So before I got there, the old head coach of the girls had a grandson named Ryan. He was autistic, so they did Rockets for Ryan. He liked Rockets. So that's what they did for the preseason classic. So when I got there, Coach Ardell and some of my senior girls this year and last year wanted to do something for my son. So they knew green was the color of cerebral palsy. So they called it. They came up with the idea of Go Green for Jordan Classic. So
wow!
Yeah. So this year it'll include the preseason games. So it'll be 2 games for boys on Tuesdays. Girls on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and boys will do Wednesdays and Fridays. So what they're doing this year, they're making it even bigger. Getting people foundations in at different sponsors. One of the local sports groups is getting into it. One of the guys from the news is supposed to come cover it. So they're really going to highlight, sports, and then also what my son's going through, with him. So that's really good,
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, and it helps keep our life balanced by keeping our child involved. And I always tell my wife, like, he's fine just the way he is. He's normal to me. There is no, what I told y'all, Mr. Juan, at Pastor Baton, there's no real thing of normality. Normality is what you make of it.
Right.
That's right.
That's true. Now, Angela, real quick, one of my last questions for you is, I heard you talk about your business. What business do you have? What is that?
So I have the nonprofit. So the nonprofit helps special needs families.
Okay.
And basically, it's just right now we need more resources to help families because, like I said, in the beginning of this journey, we were not financially stable. So there's a lot that comes with raising a child with disabilities. It can be very costly. As you can say, it can be hard on your mental. Right. So we have plans that we're trying to implement therapy for families because it takes a toll on your mental. But we do like a NICU care package for parents whose kids are in the NICU because we know that. And then I have Phillips Family Services. So that's a home health business. But I'm also getting ready to launch a line of products for caregivers too. So that's what I'm working on next.
Oh, wow. Oh, I see. I'm glad I asked. Because you said it real quick. I'm like, what did she do? Okay. I'm glad I asked. Well, I want to say this to both of you. I actually love you both. I love what y'all doing. I respect y'all as individuals as well as a married couple. I think y'all are amazing together. More of the world needs to hear of y'all. I'm glad y'all graced our show with y'all story and what y'all doing. I look forward to having you on the show again. I think you're going to be on it individually, right, Shawan?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I look forward to that one. But this one was an amazing one because it got a lot of things out. And that's what the world needs to hear. The reason why we did it, started shaking up the algorithms in the first place, is God said that we had a voice and we wanted to get to the meat of the matter and make people feel comfortable talking about things. And because all the other shows and podcasts are so uniform, and I want to be like, hey, you can just relax and say what you want to say, how you feel, because the world needs to hear that, and the transparency in it is more powerful that way, I think. So I'm glad that y'all came on the show. I look forward to y'all next shows individually. And please keep doing what y'all doing. And I thank y'all from the bottom of my soul, both of y'all.
Thank you, David.
All right, go ahead, Shawan.
Well, I just wanted to say I loved y'all before y'all even came on. And the beauty of it is David will not admit this, but he loves the fact that I pick great people for the show.
I'll give it that.
You know, we're gonna say
she does
that,
a lot of things wrong, but she does this right.
Well, it was good talking to y'all. We'll definitely be
yes.
individually.
So just to let everyone know, Jail is going to be on September the 17th, that Sunday. Okay. And we are going to be discussing the title of the show. I haven't even told you yet. The title of the show is called Thanks for My Child. You know, I always try to find different songs or whatever. I'm a music freak. So I try to find different songs that kind of tie into whatever our conversation is going to be. So your show is called Thanks for My Child.
Okay.
I like that.
And I thought that was fitting. And then Tuesday, we're going to be talking to Lando and a few other coaches because we are going to be discussing Black fathers who coach, mentoring on and off the field. You know, there's a lot you all do as
I can't wait for that one.
Well as coach. Yes, I know. That's why I said save.
Oh my God!
Save your question.
I'm bringing up Colorado now and all that. I'm bringing up all that. Man, people don't. Women don't like sports. You never understand that story. That story is magic right now. It's magic.
But guess what though? Before and I let it go. Dion prophesied. He spoke into existence. He spoke every spot he's been. He spoke it and he's won. And not just about him winning, it's about the way he's doing it.
And Lionel, he's he's everywhere. Yep. He got the whole world attention. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And my thing is, the one thing I love, and I'm gonna get off of it, but I gotta say this one thing. The one thing I love about his story is the fact that you got people, freshmen, recruits, people transfers. All of them was counted out. His son, HBCU, he can't hang with the big boys. He can't do none of that. This dude threw for 500 yards in his first game. He almost got
1,000 yards in 2 games. He got 961 yards
in 2 games, and when the season ain't even got into it.
If you haven't, go watch Dion interview with the Pivot podcast. Have you seen that one?
I don't know, because I've seen a lot of his stuff, but
it's a whole one. You got to go watch that. It's going to knock your socks off. You need to watch that before y'all do the coaches one.
Yeah. All right, I do that. But I want to say, like I said, I want to thank y'all again for coming to the show. And we look forward to seeing y'all again. I can't wait to the next shows because we got lots more to talk about.
Yes.
And my phrase that I always say before I end the show is, I always think about the have and the have-nots. Be blessed with what you have more than what you don't have, because what you don't have, God ain't prepared you for that yet. So just prepare for it. So what's yours, Shawan?
Well, my phrase that pays is love is optional, but grace is free. And for those of you that don't know, I'm officially an author now, y'all. And my book is on Amazon. So check it out.
Wait, I gotta find out on the show with everybody. Oh, nigga, we're gonna have a conversation. We're gonna have a conversation. You're gonna be reprimanded, man. You are.
Don't do that. But the Kindle version is already up, y'all. So if you would love to support, make sure that you do. The book is
Send me the link.
I will.
Okay.
It's entitled God, Why Me? How I Survived Life's Trials with Grace Music and Life-Changing Affirmations.
Ooh, I like
So
that.
it's good too. It's good. But it will be the first set of a series. I'm telling you, girl, it's my life is popping. Like it's a good read. It's a good read. So yeah. But for those of you who would love to support, I would greatly appreciate it. It is definitely a story of healing. I feel like men and women can get a lot from it. Coming from trauma and neglect and abandonment to, healing and wholeness. That's what it's all about. Being able to find yourself and discover who you are and being able to walk in your purpose. So that's basically what the whole book is about. But y'all will love it. Look,
if you're looking for a bartender, me and my buddy JB just started our own bartending business. We call it R&B bartending. It's bartending with a vibe.
I love it. Y'all got a DJ too?
Yeah, we got more. Wherever we go, we take more.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. That's what Mark was on it. Mark was on it. So yeah, I got y'all. Look, I might have to come to Jacksonville just to do a book launch. And I'm hiring.
You do it, we coming.
You know we got you.
And you know it.
Yes,
I don't know what happened to my co-host, but all is well. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Shawan.
You are so helpful. And
I
will see y'all.
Thank you, Mr. David.
I know wherever he is. Look.
All right, y'all.
All right. All right.
See you.
All right, bye.
Find us on our social media page.
Tune in for our next video. Make sure to like and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on post notifications so you won't miss out on any future episodes.